Welcome my friends to a new video. The annual celebration of Halloween on October 31st of each year is a mainstay in most parts of the Western world. This spooky event has a long history of engaging cultural traditions that brighten up dark and cold weather, including jack-o'-lantern carving, trick-or-treating, dress-up, apple bobbing and other festivities for all ages, which have evolved and adapted over the ages. But where did it all start, and how did the day become so deeply ingrained in the fall calendar? We delve into the history of Halloween to learn more. Stay with us. Celtic Festival at Samhain. The first origins of Halloween can be traced back to the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain, which began its new year on November 1st. The Celts in Ireland, the United Kingdom and northern France saw October 31st in the same way we now see New Year's Eve, as the closing of one chapter and the beginning of another. For the Celts, this particular date was of great importance because it marked the beginning of winter, when the nights became darker and cold weather began. For communities that depend on nature's unpredictable patterns, the transition from fall to winter has been filled with fear and uncertainty, and the festival helped them gain some sense of reassurance and security. The Celts believed that on October 31st, the walls between the living and the dead crumble, allowing ghosts to enter the world of the living and cause all sorts of trouble. The Druids gathered people together during Samhain to host vast bonfires in which animals were sacrificed to the Celtic gods, and the Celts wore elaborate costumes made from animal heads and skins. Many also dressed up to avoid being recognized by ghosts while walking around after dark. Ancient Roman celebrations. When the ancient Romans conquered Celtic lands, they also absorbed influences from Celtic cultural traditions, which included fall celebrations that paved the way for Halloween as we know it today. One of these days was called Feralia, a day in late autumn when the Romans paid tribute to the dead. The Romans also developed an autumn festival for Pomona, the Roman goddess of fruit. Its symbol was the apple, which some believe paved the way for the apples we now celebrate as part of Halloween. Martyrs, saints and souls. During the 7th century, the Catholic celebration of All Martyrs' Day became a regular event, originally taking place in May. However, it was later expanded to include saints, and was moved to November 1st. By the 11th century, the Christian Church had developed the celebration into two separate events, All Saints' Day, on November 1st, a feast day that has become a reminder for us to live like saints, and All Souls' Day, an event in honor of the deceased, celebrated on November 2nd. Both festivals remain cornerstones of the Catholic faith. All Saints' Eve. Over time, the name All Saints' Day evolved into several other forms, including Allhallowmass, a name taken from the Middle English phrase Allhallowmess, meaning All Saints' Day, or shortened Allhallowmass. The night before the festive day became known to many as All Hallows, a name which in turn became Halloween. The concept of trick-or-treating can be traced back to the practice of going to the spirit on All Souls' Day, where poor people would go door to door to beg for food, and the spirit would be offered to them. Cakes with crosses on top are from good neighbors. In return, the beggars promised to pray for their dearest deceased neighbors. Eventually, this custom was adopted by children, who began collecting cakes for themselves. Halloween as we know it today. During the late 18th and early 19th centuries, Halloween became an established cultural tradition celebrating the bringing of the annual harvest. Communities will host ghost storytelling and fortune-telling parties, including rituals where women try to predict their future husband. The primary focus of Halloween, especially in the United States where European immigrants brought their cultural customs and beliefs, has mostly been on creating a secular festival intended to bring people together to celebrate the fall season. However, by the 20th century, Halloween had evolved into the spooky, ghoulish-filled festival we know today, which was partly thanks to the proliferation of clever marketing and movie franchises throughout the 1950s and beyond. At the same time, Trick-or-treating became a festive event for children to perform tricks and collect sweets from locals in their neighborhood, and the practice remains a popular pastime today. At the end of the video, do not forget to subscribe, activate the bell, and share your comments. See you in a new video.